What up, YouTube? It's your boy Juby here. I'm coming at you today with another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. Today I'm coming with my new deck that I plan on using in the tournament tomorrow, a competitive Odd Eyes deck. So without further ado, let's get this done. First, obviously, triple Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. It's the basic card that this entire deck is centered around. Now, the card that makes this good in the current meta, Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon, because it can summon anything from your deck. It can recycle Odd Eyes extra deck monsters from your graveyard. This card is really good. Alright, one Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon, not only for effect damage, but also in the Pendulum Zone for a power boost for any Odd Eyes monster. Now the extra deck killer, triple Odd Eyes Persona Dragon. You always want to run 3 of this. It may be level 5 and you can't do much with it except fuse it. But yeah, this is really good. It's amazing. The testing that I've done, it's pulled my ass out of the fire on many occasions. Now the 1 per turn fusion card, Perform Odd Eyes Dissolver. So you can fuse anything with this. Basically, with this deck, and this added into it, I can have at maximum 3 fusion summons per turn. And the only other Perform Power card in here, Perform Power Odd Eyes Synchron. Now this is really good. This is awesome. This can just not only synchro with any of the, like for instance, Odd Eyes Persona Dragon. This actually can work with this to form Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon in this, but you usually want to use this in the Pendulum Zone because this can make anything a tuner. Yeah, it's great. Since there's so many Odd Eyes monsters in here, I decided to include Supreme King Dragon Odd Eyes because it boosts any Pendulum monster, giving it piercing double battle damage. Alright. Since Perform House Skull Acrobat Joker is sadly no longer part of the meta, the next best thing is Supreme King Dragon Dark Worm. This can search Supreme King Gate. This can also be used for any rank 4s. It's good. I'd like Joker better. I miss Joker. I miss Double Iris. Anyway, 1 Supreme King Gate 0, so you can place it in your Pendulum Zone and it expands your Pendulum summoning abilities. Alright. Now, since this deck revolves around mostly dark monsters, I decided to include this. Abyss Actor Curtain Raiser. This can just basically place it in the Pendulum Scale at the start of your turn. It summons itself from there. That's only once per duel, but you usually wind up with 1 of these in your hand, so that's alright. Alright. Any Pendulum deck should have this. Triple Astrograph Sorcerer. Let me center that. Yes, so this is great. This was great in Pendulum Magicians, and it's also good in Odd Eyes. So, without Joker, though, it's kind of slowed down a bit, but again, Spirals got slowed down too, with Firewall being limited to 1, and Resort. Alright. Now, joining Astrograph is its partner Chronograph. You always want to run 3 of all these in this deck. The extra deck is centered mostly around dark monsters, like I said, so this is good on the field. Right. Now, speaking of Spirals, Firewall Dragon is a bit of a pest, and so are any decks that run light attribute, like Light Sworns. So I put a Zhang-Ke Magician in here for negation purposes. I also put a Dragon Caller Magician in here because some of the bigger monsters that are in the meta today are dragons. Borreload, Firewall. Well, not Firewall, actually. But yeah, you know what I mean. This is also not only a dark attribute level 7 monster, but it can boost your monsters whenever you're battling a dragon. Now, since I have Astrograph and Chronograph, I obviously run Stargazer Magician, which can be summoned off of Astrograph. I mean, placed off of Astrograph. And Time Gazer Magician, which can be placed off of Chronograph. So yeah, these two are... I only run one copy of each in there. That seems to be enough. And last monster, Odd Eyes Lancer Dragon. Piercing damage. This is great. Oh no, wait, not piercing. I thought of another card. Yeah, just this is an amazing Odd Eyes monster. Yeah. All right, now on to the spells. Since this is an Odd Eyes deck, you obviously want to run 3 of the field spell that go with it. Sky Iris. Yeah, this in tangent with Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon. This is great. This is just great. That's not the only card that can search. And 3 Spiral Flame Strike. Make it center my camera. It's starting to fall. Yeah. Alright, 3 Spiral Flame Strike. It can not only search an Odd Eyes monster, but it can also, excuse me, it can also destroy a card in the field if you control an Odd Eyes monster. And triple Duelist Alliance. There's a bunch of Pendulum monsters in here. Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon, and a few others. Alright, now the fusion spells. 1 Odd Eyes Fusion. Center the camera again. Alright, 1 Odd Eyes Fusion. Basically, if your opponent has just filled their field, you can just fusion summon this by using monsters in your extra deck. This is great. And since there's Duelist Alliance, I decided to throw in a Pendulum Fusion. This is basically just as powerful as Odd Eyes Fusion. This is great. In fact, I just thought of a combo I could do with this. Pendulum Fusion plus Dragon Caller in the extra deck. I mean, in the Pendulum Zone. You can target one monster on your opponent's field, make it dragon, fuse it with this, and that monster battles the dragon type monster. Boom. Massive damage. Now, since this is Dark Monster centric, I run 1 Allure of Darkness. I was going to run 2, but I don't want to risk sending something that I might actually need. So I just decided to keep it at 1. I have enough search power anyway. That's it for the spells. Now on to the traps. Alright. Pendulum Switch. I can basically move monsters from my monster zones to the pendulum zones and vice versa. This can only be once per turn, but it is helpful if you really need to summon something. And lastly, for the main deck, Storming Mirror Force, generic support. You always want to have at least 1 Mirror Force in your deck. I've learned that from experience. Alright, so that's it for the main deck. Oh wow, that's almost 9 minutes. Okay, let's speed this up. Alright, the extra deck, obviously in an Odd Eyes deck, run 2 Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. Basically, you can defend against anything and pop a monster when it's summoned. There's so many Dark Pendulum monsters on here, so I threw in a Supreme King Dragon Starving Venom. Wow, I'm getting really tongue-twisted today. Alright. Now, the Synchro monsters. I was gonna put a second Heavy Metal Foes Electromite, but I don't have one yet. I haven't been able to pull it, and I really don't want to have to buy it until it gets a little cheaper. So, for now, I threw in Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon. Now, I'm not complaining. This card is great. This basically negates monster effects during the turn, during the battle phase. Flip effects, destruction effects, Yang Zings are basically powerless against this thing. So are Crawlers. Alright. Now, Supreme King Dragon Clearwing. You always want to have this in a Odd Eyes deck. Now, for reasons that will be explained when I get to the side deck, you'll understand why I'm putting this in here. I'm not only putting Ignister in here for purposes for siding, but also just to pop any monster. And it can also work in tangent with the Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon. Alright. Now onto the Xyz monsters. One Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon. You always want to have this in your extra deck. This can just bring back any Odd Eyes monster. You can also, I've also, in previous plays, I've fused into Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, then activated Noble Dragon Magician, adjusted Vortex's level, synchroed into Meteor Burst Dragon, used Meteor Burst Dragon's effects to bring a level 7 Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon from my Pendulum Zone right on the field. I've Xyzed them into this. Then I've attacked with one monster, detached this, and brought back Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, and then attacked. Basically, this makes sure that you can get multiple extra deck monsters out on the field without having to overuse the extra monster zone. Now, since there's so many Dark level 4s, Supreme King Dragon Dark Rebellion. This is basically the Utopia of the Lightning of this deck. This is great. Now, a generic defensive card, Bagushka. Now, since there's so many level 7s in here, I've put a few of them in here. Number 11, Big Eye, the Monster Stealer. I think that's centered in the camera. Yeah. Yes. Alright. And Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. And now to the Link monsters. This is my favorite of the entire deck. Heavy Malifaux's Electromite. This just makes any Pendulum deck completely broken. Especially Pendulum Magicians and Odd Eyes. I feel like this was meant for this deck. Looking at how powerful that thing is, I actually understand why Double Iris and Joker were banned. I just hope they get off the list soon. Anyway. One Underclock Taker. Now, I put this in here because it's a good power boost. It can just point to one of your opponent's monsters, subtract attack from the monster. This points to if Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon points to this, or is pointed to by this, then you can subtract 2,500 from one of your opponent's monsters. Odd Eyes attacks, double battle damage. That is an insane combo. Now, a generic Link 3, Decode Talker. You always want to have one of these in any deck. And now my second favorite, Skulldeep. I refuse to call it Saryu's Skulldread. Way to botch the name on that, Konami. Alright, now onto the side deck. Oh wow, this video is getting really long. Alright, I'll try and speed this up. Alright, now I have a bunch of generic defense and generic offense moves in the side deck. First off, my weapon against spirals, Winged Dragon Ra Sphere Mode. This is one of the reasons I keep Ignister in there, not only because it's a good generic level 8 synchro monster, but it can get rid of this after you get rid of a bunch of your opponent's pesky monsters. And speaking of kaijus, I have two of them. One with high attack for Dark Rebellion, and one with low attack for any other scenario. And now, I have a bunch of hand traps, so I stand a chance. For mirror matches, two Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. You can get rid of Electromite, Skulldeep, Borreload, anything. And now I finally have 2 Ash Blossoms. So yeah, I stand a significant chance of actually topping this time. I just have to use these. Now also for mirror matches, Wavering Eyes. Not many people are going to be playing competitive Odd Eyes, but many people are going to be playing Pendulum Magicians. So Wavering Eyes is good to have. Now Buster Dragon. Now I keep getting that wrong. ABC Dragon Buster. That's still a thing. So system down, you always want to keep this in your side deck. Especially now, also since Cyber Dragons are making a comeback. Especially with the upcoming Link monster for it. I'm really excited to see that. Alright, Dimensional Barrier. Wish it worked against Lynx, but oh well. It's still good. Now, since there's a Starving Venom monster in the extra deck, and since there are a bunch of Odd Eyes monsters, I decided to throw in on the side Odd Eyes Venom Dragon. Now, a bunch of people complained that this is a garbage fusion card, but I don't think so. In fact, I actually recently talked over one of Daniel Ramos's. I'll put his channel description below. I checked out one of his live streams, and I suggested to him that maybe, in regards to Zark, that its summoning condition should be the same as this. Must be fusion summoned and can then be pendulum summoned. Then if this card is fusion summoned, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. Look forward to seeing you at the regional, Dan. Alright. Last level 7, or rank 7. Gaia Dragon the Thunder Charger. Piercing damage. Intangent with Underclock Taker piercing damage. That's pretty good. Right. And Twin Triangle Dragon. Alright, I think this video has gone on long enough, so I'm going to end it now. If you guys like this video and you're new to the channel, please click the like and subscribe buttons. Every subscription helps my channel grow just that much more. I'm going to start recording when I get to the regional tomorrow. Until then, this is Jibby. Peace out.